camera. New camera, same channel. Let's see how it goes. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having an amazing day. My name is Justin and this is on a new camera. I've upgraded. Hopefully the picture looks better, a lot better than before. I've tested the sound and everything as well, so hopefully everything should sound right, should look right, should be right. All my wires are where they need to be. But I figured it was time to upgrade a little bit, time to move up in the world. And as always, this could not have been done without your support, without you guys clicking and liking the videos and all that kind of stuff and supporting the channel on Patreon. This is where it goes to. So I hope that this is a nice little surprise. I'm really happy with the quality on this. This is like amazing. This is awesome to me. So I figured we'd go into a little bit of an album that you guys have been asking about for quite a while, ever since listening to Talking Heads. We're going to be listening to Byrne and David Byrne with America is Waiting, and the second song, Mea Culpa. This is off of their album My Life in the Bush of Ghost, which was released in 1981. So this is really exciting because Byrne is someone who I know more for his ambient works. David Byrne, of course, from Talking Heads. We've listened to a lot of them recently. So this is going to be really interesting to see where the two meet, what they come up with. I have no idea. I haven't even looked at like what genre or anything this is. I'm just going to be in complete surprise, which is another reason we're taking two songs off the top of this album. But hope that you guys are having a wonderful day. Hope that you're enjoying your time, whatever you're doing right now, besides watching this video. And let's do it. This is America is Waiting, followed by Mea Culpa by Byrne and David Byrne.
America is waiting for a message of some sort or another.
said, he said, I'm sorry, I committed a sin. I made a mistake. I asked for first on whether it was forgiven. Can we forget that I committed a sin? I'm sorry, I committed a sin. I'm saying, I'm sorry, I committed a sin. I made a mistake. I'm going to do it again. I did it before. I'm going to do it again. When he said, I'm sorry, I committed a sin. I made a mistake. I asked for first on whether it was forgiven.
Okay. All right. I know immediately what type of album this is, okay? for myself, I can immediately tell this is the type of album that I would put on a Saturday night in the background while I'm doing something else, and yet I'm paying attention to it. It's not just background fodder to, sound nice to pretty up the background. No, 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 no. This is the type of background music you pay attention to, and it captures your attention, and it takes you on a certain kind of journey, a certain narrative. So definitely wasn't expecting what I got, but I'm really, really happy with what I got, because you have the groove, the locked in and tight groove and percussion heavy rhythms from Byrne, which we're used to with Talking Heads, the same way it's implemented over there, and yet with electronic abstract from Eno. And he's doing his Eno thing. He's doing sampling, he's doing keys. I mean, there's a lot going on. And in contrast to Eno's ambient works, which rely on space, this kind of relies more on like the claustrophobic feeling and the clutter. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like, these tracks have a lot going on in them. But that's kind of like the interesting part about it. And now hearing what they've came up with, what these two brilliant artists have done together, it makes sense. You can easily, like I said, hear both of their influences in this project. This is really, really interesting, especially Mea Culpa. That was a really good song. One thing I noticed about Mea Culpa and America is Waiting is that it relies on that groove, that percussion rhythm throughout the whole song. And then there's kind of random, almost seemingly random, I should say, sound effects and different, things going on, ringing here and chiming there and swerving here like a car coming out and you didn't even see it coming. And yet there's certain times when a certain melodic line will come out. For example, in America is Waiting near the ending. I want to say it's probably a keyboard or something. There's just a little melodic line which all of a sudden kind of gives your mind something to grasp onto. So instead of just being thrown into this chaotic sphere, you're giving a little bit of a lifeline to kind of hold on to. And all of a sudden, the ride is a lot more enjoyable. It's like if you were put on a roller coaster and the roller coaster started, right? But you didn't have your safety stuff on. So it's probably not going to end well. I feel like the melodic line kind of gives you the safety harness. It kind of gives you the seatbelt so that you're able to enjoy the chaos of the ride, the speed and all the inertia and the flips and the loops and all that kind of stuff that you roller coaster people like to do. I feel like that's what that melody does in both these songs. See, when I first put this on and hear this,
America is waiting for a message.
you hear a little warpy bass or something kind of going on in the back, and that's kind of the first thing I start to latch onto because the pattern is just so abstract, at least for me as a first-time listener. This is just hard. And then you have these spoken word samples of some speech going on that I'm not quite sure of. And this kind of spoken word part with that percussion really sounds like it comes from Talking Heads' side of things. But see, now listen.
Of some sort or another.
Just this few lines from the keys give you your safety harness. At least for me, just because of that one addition, it becomes so much more enjoyable and fun. And just looking at the personnel list who's playing on this album besides Eno and Byrne, you have David Van Tighem on drums and percussion and Found Objects on America's Waiting, and then bass playing by Tim Wright on America's Waiting. So I like how it says scrap metal and Found Objects. There's a rough texture to the percussion. There's definitely a rough kind of unfinished concept to just how it's being played. And it's so cool how these acoustic and electronic elements are being brought together here. I love that bass that's rising up here with these really, really fast, sped up talking samples that are going on. You got some kind of Indian percussion here, and you have a bouncing back and forth between these drony vocals and those fast, distorted, sped up ones, which is a really nice contrast as well. That keeps the music really interesting as it goes on. And then the drums become more intense here in this midsection. Everything's working really well to the concept of this. And in my opinion, I think that maybe this would be a hard listen to someone who's not used to this kind of style, but I actually think it's not that hard. I actually think they make it very easy to kind of step into the pool and the water feels fine. It's not too cold. Dip your toes in and you're kind of good. And America is Waiting kind of actually just pushes you into the water. There's no soft buildup of any sort. It just kind of coldly throws you in. But I think that once you're in, you kind of feel like the water's fine. And then for some reason, there's these instruments, or whatever sounds these are, it kind of put me in like a, I don't know, hear me out. Kind of put me like in a samurai or a ninja film, and like you're in a bamboo forest and you're like, fight. I don't know. That's what I'm seeing listening to that part. But yeah, the drumming in there is really interesting. I see that you have Dennis Keeley on the baldron. I don't know how to exactly pronounce that, so sorry if I mispronounce it. But which is like a frame drum, basically. Which I would imagine this also being accompanied by other actual drums, maybe sample drums, because there's a lot drum-wise going on in here. That is so interesting. Like I said, I can already tell that this is an album I'm going to put on a Saturday night, and I say Saturday night because it's going to hold my attention. There's a difference between like Saturday night music and Sunday night music. Let's talk about the lyrics really quick on this one. America is waiting for a message of some sort or another, taking it again. Well, now, now we ought to be mad at the government, not mad at the people. No will whatsoever, absolutely no honor, absolutely no integrity. I haven't seen any citizen over there stand up and say, hey, just a second. Interesting. And then it ends, America is waiting for a message of some sort. So I would imagine this is taken from a speech. I don't know exactly what speech or anything, but they've sampled it and, of course, put it into the music here. But the message kind of gets through, and the message is kind of poignant. You know, it's still very important today. I like the line, we ought to be mad at the government, not the people. I haven't seen any citizen over there stand up and say, hey, just a second. Like, you got to stand up for certain things, right? And then mea culpa. What are you saying? He said, I'm sorry, I committed a sin. I made a mistake. I asked to forgive me. Please forgive me, he said. Mea culpa. Can you put it better? I'm saying I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I committed a sin, blah, blah, blah. I never did it before. I'm never going to do it again. Now, I looked it up real quick because mea culpa is a word and a phrase I've always heard, but I don't really remember what it was. So mea culpa is an acknowledgement of one's fault or error. So just as that meaning, he's saying, you know, I've made a mistake. I committed a sin. I'm never going to do it again. He's admitting his mistake, and whatever that mistake may be. This is just a really interesting sound collage in music, in voice, sampling, electronics, acoustic, how it all comes together. And I think the package is actually really, really cool to listen to. This was fun. Thank you guys so much for the recommendation on this one. Of course, if you did enjoy this video, like it. First of all, before you leave, you can also support me on Patreon. That is one way that we got this new camera. Hope that it looks really good for you guys. Hope that everything sounds right, sounds good. You can also follow me on Twitter if you'd like. But for now, I hope that you have a wonderful day. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. This video was also kind of my test to make sure like everything looks and works right. So let me know if it does or didn't.